Evening, my little angel. To begin this story time, let us come to the final theme for this year's Christmas. Who invented Santa Claus? The legend of Santa Claus can be traced back to a monk named Saint Nicholas, who was born in Turkey around AD 280. Saint Nicholas gave away all of his inherited wealth and traveled the countryside, helping the poor and sick, becoming known as the protector of children and sailors. Saint Nicholas first entered American popular culture in the late 18th century in New York, when Dutch families gathered to honor the anniversary of the death of Saint Nicholas, or Sinterklaas for short. Santa Claus draws his name from this abbreviation. In 1822, Episcopal minister Clement Clarkmore wrote a Christmas poem called An Account of the Visit from Saint Nicholas, more popularly known today by its first line, "'Twas the night before Christmas." The poem depicted Santa Claus as a jolly man who flies from home to home on a sleigh driven by reindeer to deliver toys. The iconic version of Santa Claus as a jolly man in red with a white beard and a sack of toys was immortalized in 1881, when political cartoonist Thomas Nast drew on Moore's poem to create the image of old Saint Nick we know today. There are also some other interesting facts about Christmas. First, according to statistics from 2009 to 2020, 25 to 30 million real Christmas trees are sold in the United States alone each year. There are about 15,000 Christmas tree farms in the United States, and trees usually grow for between 4 and 50 years before they are sold. Next, in the Middle Ages, Christmas celebrations were rowdy and raucous, much like today's Mardi Gras parties. And the final, Rudolph, the most famous reindeer of all, was the product of Robert L. May's imagination in 1939. The copywriter wrote a poem about the reindeer to help lure customers into the Montgomery Ward department store. Other interesting things about Christmas we will continue next year. And now, let us go back to Tottochan. The Promise. After lunch, when the children put away the chairs and desks that had been arranged in a circle, the assembly hall seemed quite spacious. "Today, I'm going to be the first to climb on the headmaster's back," decided Tottochan. That's what she always wanted to do. But if she hesitated for a moment, someone else could have already climbed into his lap as he sat cross-legged in the middle of the assembly hall, and at least 2 others were scrambling onto his back, clamoring for his attention. "Hey, stop it, stop it!" The headmaster would remonstrate, red in the face with laughter, but once they had occupied his back, the children were determined not to give up their position. So, if you would at least be slow, you find the headmaster's back very crowded. But this time, Tottochan made up her mind to be there first and was already waded into the middle of the assembly hall when the headmaster arrived. As he approached, she shouted to him, "Sir, I've got something to tell you." "Was it then?" asked the headmaster delightedly as he sat down on the floor and started to cross his legs. Tottochan wanted to tell him what she had decided after several days of thought. When the headmaster had crossed his legs, Tottochan suddenly decided against climbing on his back. What she had to say would be more appropriate, said face to face, so she sat down very close to him, facing him, and tilted her head with a smile that mother had called her nice face ever since she was small. It was her sunny best face. She felt confident when she smiled like that, her mouth slightly open, and she herself believed she was a good girl. The headmaster looked at her expectantly. "What is it?" he asked again, leaning forward. Tottochan said quickly and slowly, in a big sisterly or motherly way, "I'd like to teach at this school when I grow up. I'm really good." Totto-chan expected the headmaster to smile, but instead he asked in all seriousness, "Promised?" He really seemed to want her to do it. Totto-chan nodded vigorously and said, "I promised," determining in her heart to become a teacher there without fail. At that moment, she was thinking about the morning she was first came to Tomoe and met the headmaster in his office. It seemed a long time ago. He had listened patiently to her for 4 hours. She thought of the warmth in his voice when he had said to her after she had finished talking, "Now you're a pupil of this school." She loved teacher Kobayashi even more than she had then, and she was determined to work for him and do anything she could to help him. When she had promised, he smiled delightedly as usual, showing no embarrassment about his missing teeth. Totto-chan held out her little finger. The headmaster did the same. His little finger looked strong. You could put your faith in it. Totto-chan and headmaster then made a pledge in the time-honored Japanese way by linking little fingers. The headmaster was smiled. Totto-chan smiled too. Rest assured, she was going to be a teacher at Tomoe. What a wonderful thought. When I'm a teacher, she mused, and these were the things that Totto-chan imagined. A little study, lot of sports days, field kitchens, camping, and walks. The headmaster was delighted. It was hard to imagine Totto-chan grown up, but he was sure she could be a Tomoe teacher. He thought that Tomoe children could all make good teachers since they were likely to remember what it was like being a child. There at Tomoe, the headmaster and one of his pupils were making a solemn promise about something that lay 10 years or more in the future, when everyone was saying it was only a matter of time before American airplanes loaded with bombs appeared in the skies over Japan. Today's story time is over. I wish my little love a good night's sleep. Kiss you long on your forehead. See you again next time.